Hi, welcome back to Mr. Silver's Math. Today we're going to start our new unit, and today is day one, which is salary. So this first part is just asking some general information. What do you think the better deal is? And maybe it should say which is the better comparison, or which would you rather have maybe. So making this or this, having a nickel or a dime, owing money, or having money, 5/4 or $2, $20 an hour, getting paid time and a half, having a quarter or a dime, a nickel or a penny. And I'm not really going to explain these because I just wanted to see what you thought. Same thing here, finding the value of each coin. Now, because we're in America, they use dollars. So when you go to the cash register, when you go check out, they don't tell you the bill is in 4,000 cents. They tell you the bill is in $23.07, but it's always dollars. So that's how I'm displaying these values here in terms of dollars. And then number 3 is asking for the different denominations of money, aka what are the different types of bills of money that we have in the US. So here's where we get into some terminology. What is hourly pay? Well, that's how much you get paid for 1 hour of work. How do you calculate how much you get paid in a day? You multiply your pay rate or your pay wage by the hours you worked. What is regular rate or your regular wage? That's how much you get paid for working under 40 hours. So if you get paid $10 an hour, your regular wage is $10. That's your rate. Overtime is when you work more than 40 hours in 1 week. So notice that it's 40 hours in 1 week. It's not that you go into work on Saturday, you work 4 hours and they ask you to stay longer. That's not overtime. Okay? The only time it becomes overtime is if you work more than 40 hours in 1 week. Otherwise, it's just normal, regular time. When you work overtime, sometimes you get paid time and a half, which is 1.5 times your normal or regular rate. So back to this one, I said you get $10 an hour. So if I'm working time and a half, I'm going to do 1.5 times 10. So that means I'd be making $15 an hour. You could also be fortunate enough to get double time pay, which is twice your normal pay rate or your regular rate. So once again, if you're making $10 an hour and I times it by 2, I would be getting $20 an hour. So that's hourly pay. Then there's salary pay. So salary pay it's a fixed or set amount of money for working full time. And full time is 40 hours a week for a year. How many hours do you work? You work 40 hours a week. However, with salary positions, sometimes it could be more than 40 hours. Sometimes it could also be less than 40 hours. Okay, the average is just 40 hours a week. Do you get paid extra if you work more than 40 hours? No. Do you have to give back money if you work less than 40 hours? No. Okay, so a salary is just a fixed income that you're going to get however often you get paid. Whether you work 40 hours, 42 hours, 38 hours, 50 hours, you get the same amount of money. Okay, that's what a salary is for. Now, there's a difference between the salary and hourly. Okay, so the advantage, and that's what this is asking, the pros and cons of them. The advantage of a salary is it's a steady income. Okay, so you're guaranteed that amount of money every paycheck. You could work less than 40 hours a week and still get paid for 40 hours of work. Okay? Now, an advantage of hourly pay is you could get overtime. So you could get time and a half. You could get double time. And, working just 1 or 2 hours may not seem like a lot, but if you do it over the course of a year, that adds up to a lot of overtime, which could make you a lot of money. Now, the disadvantage of a salary, there's no overtime. So you get paid for 40 hours of work a week, but if you work 52 hours that week, still only get paid for 40. So you may have to work 40 plus hours without any extra money. The con of working hourly is it's not a steady income. You could be working 10 hours one week, and then the next week you're working 40 hours. The week after that, you're working 28 hours. So it's not a steady income. So it's reliable, but it's not really that reliable um, because it's not a set amount. Now, extras. So sometimes you're in a profession where you get tips. Tips are extra money that customers give for services received. The best example is a waiter. You go to a restaurant, you have a waiter, they bring you food, they clear your plates, take your order, all that stuff, and you leave a tip. Or a hairstylist. They do a good job, you give them a tip. Another thing that you may encounter with income is commission. So it's money earned from selling an item. The best example or most common example is a car salesperson. You sell a car, that person that sold you the car gets a commission. They get $500 for the car that they sold. Or a realtor gets a percent of the house that was sold. Okay, so that's where you might see commission. And then you could also see a bonus. So a bonus is extra money or a lump sum of money that is given because of good work or because a company did well. The most common examples are CEOs. They tend to get bonuses. You can always think of the high-profile ones that work for Apple or banks. They get millions of dollars in bonuses. Bank tellers also get bonuses. Let's say the tellers bring in X amount of people. They could get a bonus for that. Or they bring in or open 10 new accounts. They could get a bonus for that. What is a sign-on bonus? It's extra money given to you when you join a company. So sometimes your sign-on bonus could be you get a sign-on bonus of $5,000 for working at that company for 3 years on top of your normal salary. So as long as you stay those 3 years, you get $5,000. What is an unpaid break? So a break that you do not get paid for. And then what is a duty-free lunch? Eating lunch without having to do work. So you have 30 minutes where it is just for you to eat. You cannot be asked to do work. You're just eating lunch. So these are just some terms that you should be familiar with when you enter the workforce. If you have any questions,